All right, well, good morning. Today we're going to talk about my kindergarten schedule or routine or rhythm or whatever you want to call it, because I have a ton of kindergarten products, but I don't use them all. Like I wish I could, but we don't. So I'll tell you how I narrow it down. First product of the day is the Organized Mum, M-U-M. So that's the cleaning routine I use, and I think it's amazing. It's free. You can get all the printables, but essentially, let me explain it to you. So you're gonna deep clean a room every day. So every day you're gonna spend 30 minutes on a different room. So Monday it's bedrooms, Tuesday it's living room, Wednesday it's your hallway and stairs and entryway, now I switch it up because I don't need to deep clean them every week. I switch it up with my dining room because in the Organized Mom, they don't have a spot for dining room. So that's what I do. I switch it up, either that or the dining room. Thursday is kitchen and Friday is whatever room you want. So essentially that's how it goes. And Saturday and Sunday, you will only do bathrooms because it's your time with your family. You're supposed to do one load of laundry every day and clean the dishes every day. Now, get it, you're gonna tidy up. Like she wants you to, clean all the floors, all the main traffic areas and stuff. I don't do that. And I only do it when it's messy, or once a week my husband will do it. But when you're starting out, you're gonna look and be like, oh my gosh, it's so like there's no way I'm gonna clean this whole room and deep clean it in 30 minutes. No, you're not. What you're gonna do first of all is you have to declutter. If you don't use it and you don't love it, get rid of it. If you use it and you love it, you can keep it. Other than that, out it goes. So when you first start, you're not gonna get a real deep clean in any of your rooms. But after a week or two, it takes the stress off you, because when you're overwhelmed because you have so many rooms, you're like, oh, that's okay, that's Monday. Monday I hit that up. And then again, you're not supposed to deep clean the entire room on Monday. You're only supposed to set the timer for 30 minutes, and whatever you clean in 30 minutes. And you can get a lot done and deep clean a certain portion of the room. And then next week you can do the general cleanup, but do a deep cleaning portion of another part of the room. So I think it's great. I love it. I use it pretty successfully. Not perfectly, understand, because you're supposed to do a load of laundry every day. I don't always do that, but I like the concept that weekends, it's family time and stuff. So product number 2 is there's this book. I started reading it with my son, and what's interesting about it is these kids have to solve a mystery, and the mystery involves them going back in time to the creation of the world as dictated in the Bible. So they're there for the creation of the world. So it's kind of an interesting read aloud, or reading on their own if they're old enough. Okay, so let's talk about our schedule. The schedule that we do, I run a very relaxed homeschool, very easy homeschool. Because now what you need to keep in mind in regards to kindergarten when I tell you this is that I believe, and I've read a study, at least one study I read, that said when your child's older, they'll absorb the information quicker. So I don't need to force it on them, and there's not going to be a whole repeated thing back and forth. So these are the topics I try to cover during the quote unquote kindergarten year. Okay, reading, science, math, ABCs, art, and music. Now, history and social science and those things, and literacy, science, a lot of those are covered during our reading time. Now, keep in mind that if your child's older or more mature or sits still longer, whatever, it's going to be different, right? So this is just the one that I do. So about 6 o'clock, by 6 o'clock, everyone's got to be up. My older son can sleep in a bit, but the younger ones, they got to be up because I have to put them to bed. My older son, I don't have to put him to bed. So the little kids, since one of us, even me or my husband, has to put them to bed, you got to be up early because I want to go to bed. Or relax. I'm not hanging around friggin' 9 o'clock at night going, why isn't he sleeping? So 6 a.m., everybody's up. And I go into their bed with a bunch of books, or they come in my bed because I have a heated blanket. So either way, whatever. And I bring a stack of books in. And I just sit while they're waking up and I read. And I read some picture books, but then I'll also, let me see, I brought them in today to show you. But then I'll also say, okay, let's pick one from the Usborne Beginners. I believe I talked about them in my last kindergarten video, or my Usborne a book haul video. So it's basically like planet Earth, living in space, your body, weather, astronomy, astrology, whatever. They pick a book, and it's like, okay, what do you guys feel like talking about? They can each pick one, and then that just to get some information. Like if you look at planet Earth, I know you're looking at my bedroom and you're like, oh, my dear, it's all messy. Yeah, it's because I got books everywhere and clean clothes I didn't fold. Yeah. I hear ya. I should do it. So It's very simple, right? But it has concrete information about volcanoes and kind of exciting stuff. Basically, I want to get them excited about learning. And I read this meme once, so actually I don't think it's a meme if it's not funny. I don't know. This thing, and it said that when you read with your kids, they associate reading with love. So when they get older, they'll just associate reading with love. So we'll see. We'll see, but so that's what we do. So I don't always hit up the educational books per se during this time, but if you go to the library, because we go every week, because I like reading new books. That keeps it interesting for me. I don't like reading the same books over and over again. I like reading new books. It just keeps it interesting for me. So I go to the library every week and I pick up like 50 books, and during the week we read those with some older ones mixed in, some that we own mixed in. I tend to buy the educational ones, especially if I need them to reference them or I can't get them at the library. Okay, so now we have read. But again, as I was saying, when you get a lot of books from the library, it's shocking how much information you can glean just reading picture books with your kids. Like a lot of them have educational things built in and morality stories sometimes, things like that. So now it's playtime. Either I play with them, we all play together, they go play by themselves, so together. So it's playtime, right? I do cleaning. I clean up the kitchen because I'm sure I haven't done it the night before, even though it's my thing and I want to do it and I want to be that person that finishes up before we go to bed. I don't. So I'm in there, I clean up the kitchen and I start breakfast. And then at breakfast time is one of the best times to read. So today I pulled out Child's Introduction to Art. I pulled out the Mona Lisa. Picture is what we talked about because, let's see, I'll just pull out any picture here. But they're all pretty much the same. Let me get one. Now, I kind of wish they had chosen different pictures or more pictures. So I think I got to get another book because my 7-year-old or 6-year-old was like, oh, let's read it more. So today I talked about the Mona Lisa, but it's got the title of the painting. It's got a bit about the painting, which is kind of interesting. And then it has more interesting things about the painting that I didn't know. Right, and then if you want to go on, it talks about how to create it, and I skip this, I don't read this. So while they're eating, this is another topic while they're eating breakfast that I'm nailing, right? I'm like, we are talking about this, but we can talk about anything during that because they're sitting still. They're sitting still, they're preoccupied with eating, but they're not, their mind isn't engaged totally in what they're doing. So that they can pay attention to whatever we are talking about, which, again, today was different art. So I choose a painting, we talk about it, and then again, like I said, today we talked about a bunch of paintings. So I almost wish they had more paintings or different paintings. Ooh, the Sistine Chapel. I gotta remember to show them that. Oh yeah, I really want to go see that. But I don't know if I will. But anyway, so Child's Introduction to Art. So then on our list of what we have to do today, because there's checklists. I do a reverse checklist. So every morning I get up and I'm like, do we have occupational therapy today? Do we have speech therapy? Like, what do we got going on outside the house? If we are home, I'm going to check off what I want them to do. So I want their teeth brushed. Now other people have a different system than I do, right? Like I don't want to call it drill sergeant-y, but just you're more on top of it than I am. So like every night before they go to bed, they brush their teeth, but in the morning, I freaking forget to have them brush their teeth and no one's dressed. I'm telling you, if we are home, there are no clothes on anybody. Everybody's in boxer shorts. I'm dressed. But I also live with 4 boys, so. But anyway, teeth brushed. Oh, so on their list, it's got simple things like teeth brushed and bed made and pick up clothes and exercise and music and schoolwork and reading and kitchen and living room. And I choose what I want done that day. So what I want them to do. Oh, shoes put away is another one on there because if we've gone out to occupational therapy, when you come home, look at that list, see what needs to be done. Shoes need to be put away because the kindergartner doesn't put his shoes away. For some odd reason, it's like he just doesn't. So it's got to be on the list of shoes away, and then he's got to complain for 15 minutes while he goes and gets his shoes and puts them away, which is fine. That's his way of processing the world, I guess. Okay, so say we have schoolwork that day. So I choose we've already done reading, so now we're doing letters. So this, I'm going to put a code on, and you can get something similar like this from Creative Fabrica. Now, it's $2.99 for the year, and you can download, I want to say 5 or 6 things a week. Okay, so it's pretty cool, so I'll put it in the comments too, because I couldn't find the deal on without using my code, so go ahead and take it. It's literally the only sponsor I have gotten, and I think it's so cool that I have a sponsor, and I believe I get a penny for every I think that's what I get for every time you sign up. So anyway, so then I printed off documents and I created like this. Now we do have all about reading, the pre-reading thing, but really this is sufficient because you're writing letters, you're learning C, cup, caterpillar, cat. And I get it. Maybe I should be doing sight words by now. I don't. They're kindergarten. I wait till I start sight words and stuff like that. And I have a special way to teach sight words that I do, that I read about, that I explained in another video. I want to say it's the language arts video, so I'll attach it at the end because I don't want to get into it here because we're not talking about that here. Sorry about that. But so then they understand their letter has a first name and a last name. First name is the name of the letter. Last name is the sound. Because if I had known better, we would have taught letters by the sound, but life doesn't. I didn't know that stuff. I didn't know that. All right, so that is that. Or we do math with confidence. So we switch every day. We don't do weekends generally. Sometimes I do a lesson on the weekends, but sometimes not. Sometimes with my older children, I do, not with the kindergartner usually. So every day of the year, because it doesn't take long. It's like 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. So it's not that long. And then we've knocked out a reading or a math. And then for science is, I don't do too much in kindergarten for science, except through general reading and watching some stuff on TV. Like for math, for example, they watch Number Blocks, or, my son loves Number Blocks on Netflix, or it's also on YouTube too if you don't have Netflix. But so science is kind of the same thing because they can watch Science Max, they can watch, and the science curriculum I have, I think is amazing, but I can't start that young. So another thing we do is for science, what I do is I'm like, okay, for 6 weeks, we're going to be studying architecture. And I have this free architecture program from the Michigan Architect Society. And what we do, I'll also try and link that in the comments, but it's not always easy to track down. It takes me a bit to track it down. Or if I have room, I'll just attach the architecture video at the end and you can see it there, get a preview of it. And then for 6 weeks, we focus on lessons through architecture, right? Or for 6 weeks, we do Blossom and Root, the space program. So I choose kind of a focus for a few weeks because again, they're only going to sit for so much time and I just don't have, it's just not my thing to do. There's a lot of nature kindergarten programs out there. I don't like nature. Like I like nature. I love nature. Like we're buying land and we are moving to a nature place where we get to stare at the water. I just don't want nature to touch me too much. I know. I get it. We all wish I was a different person sometimes. I cannot be. This is me. I'm just being honest. But I don't say that. I don't say, ooh, don't touch me with that. I'm always like, oh, thank you for the flowers. And pretending it doesn't, like, ooh, I don't want to touch them. I'm pretending that, because you don't want to pass your stuff down to your kids, right? And they seem to like nature, because who doesn't? And we go for hikes and stuff like that. I like hiking. I just cover up in layers because I don't want things to touch me, but I do love hiking. Okay, so I think that's about it. So history and science and literacy. Oh, music. Okay, music. We listen to classical music. We listen to David Garrett. That's how I do it. So we do it in the car. We're listening to the music, getting them really interested in classical and instrumental music without the discussion of it. So it's just something I play because I love it. I love upbeat instrumental classical music like David Garrett the Fifth. That's like a remake. He does it with a violin of Beethoven's Fifth, and it's a really high beat song, high energy song. And those are the type of songs that I really like. So I play those a lot. And then in grade 1, we start talking about it. But also like my one son, he's in kindergarten every day. It was like, okay, play some music. So on their list is music, but that just means they have to compose. It doesn't mean, it's not like official lessons. It's just, he has a passion for it. So go for it. My other son, not so much, but I'm going to start the kindergartner. He's getting a little older now. So I'm going to start saying, okay, got to do the piano, do some music too. And just have them compose something. Now for the exercise portion, I think it's important that they get physical exercise every day and that they become responsible for it and they get a habit going. That is just something you have to do every day is you got to eat healthy, not all day, not all the time, but you got to, just like you got to brush your teeth, just like you got to make your bed. These are things you have to do in life. You have to get in the habit of exercising. So they choose what they do. We have a trampoline in the backyard, or like the kindergarten today was like, I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to do yoga. Mom, I'm doing yoga. Yoga's my exercise today. I say, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. And then he makes up yoga poses. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, super official. Or we go to parks and playgrounds. I have a whole channel where we've gone to playgrounds all over the world. Not all over the world, but quite a few different countries. So that's another thing we do for exercise. So if we go do that and we go do an outside activity, then you don't need to. If we're in, when we were in Canada visiting my grandparents or their grandparents, I took them to the arena every day just to ice skate. I took them to the arena every day, Monday through Friday. I think Wednesday it was closed. Or there wasn't an option I liked, a time I liked. But every day I would take them down to the arena and get them out there on the skates. So if we do that, then we don't have to do anything else. And then that's about it. They can also play Code Spark for coding. So to me, I think it's a well-rounded education, just considering their kindergarten. And he is learning. He's learning to count. He's learning all these things that are going to help him. He knows like a ton of stuff. Kids just pick up a ton of stuff just in life. So he knows a ton of stuff and he will continue. And, I kind of wanted to teach them some subjects together. I'm realizing maybe that'll work. We're starting to do math with confidence together because they're just a year apart. Or a bit more than a year apart. So I thought that we could, sync them up. It's not working because understand they have such different personalities. Like if you saw a picture of them, you would be like, how did these two children come from the same parents? Because they look so different and they are so unbelievably different. There are no words to the differences between them. Really, I've never seen it before. It's just unbelievable. So don't know how well my plan is going to work, but that's all right. Okay, so there you go. I've talked your ear off enough. I hope that helped and gave you some information and some ideas and some guidance and whatever. Also, I have ordered a new ABC curriculum that is supposed to teach them to read because I bought all the language arts programs, and this one I just saw the other day on YouTube, and I was like, I gotta try that. So I ordered it, and when it comes in, I'll show it to you. I also have another language arts curriculum from Common Sense Press that I ordered that I'm super excited about, but I believe I'll start that with my grade 1, not my kindergartner. And because my kindergartner, unless we're eating or he just woke up, he's not sitting very long, which is okay. All right, take care. Have a good day.